Now at 5, Joplin police release information about the suspect they were searching for when they surrounded a house yesterday. Plus, with temperatures dropping, we look at the cost of frozen home water pipes and
suspicions Russia fired the missile that hit Poland are now easing. I'm Deborah Alfarone in Washington with the latest on that deadly blast and what NATO members are saying.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Joplin SWAT team was unable to find the man they sought yesterday, but we now know who he is. This is KOAM News at 5. Law officers yesterday surrounded a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours. They were searching for a domestic assault suspect they believed was in the house. That suspect was not there, as it turns out, but authorities have now released his identity as they continue their search. He's 32-year-old Christopher L. Smith of Joplin. Authorities say Smith assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. Smith has an active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. It's getting cold out there again. Let's check in with Doug.
It is getting cold out there. It was pretty much cold all day long for us today. Temperatures mainly into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Look where we're sitting now. We're sitting just above freezing. Of course, the sun is about ready to set. Plus, it's been a little windy, so it kind of cuts through you. It makes it feel colder than what it actually is. Thankfully, these winds are going to start to die down a little bit as we go through the overnight hours. Pretty much clear skies for us right now, but we're still watching this big upper level low up across the Great Lakes, and it keeps dropping these little waves in. So we have another one that's going to drop in as we head into tomorrow evening. At least for this evening, clear skies. We drop back through the 20s all the way down to 22 later on tonight. Plenty of chances of rain and snow. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Frozen water pipes can be an unexpected frustration for people when the temperature drops this much, and as it continues to drop, it becomes even more important to make sure your pipes are well insulated. An official with Missouri American Water says warm pipes are a necessity to get through the cold winter.
Insulate your pipes within your home, and you can do this with heat tape, newspaper, or even fabric. You can also leave your cabinet doors open so the warm air can get to the pipes. And those are some relatively simple things that people can do that can save them a lot of inconvenience and ultimately expense this winter.
Now, if you plan on going away during the cold weather, experts recommend leaving the heat on in your home set to a temperature no lower than 55 degrees. At 6, we're going to hear from an insurance agent. Missouri Southern's in the spotlight of an online program. The university today rolled out the green carpet of the premiere of a new episode of the program, The College Tour. Each episode of the show highlights campus life at colleges and universities all around the globe, with students sharing personal stories about their experience. The MSSU episode was filmed in April with 10 students interviewed.
So my segment was Life at MOSO. So I talk about just like student organizations and like fraternities and sororities. I talk about the rec center. So it's just kind of a general picture of what students can expect at Missouri Southern.
To watch the episode on Missouri Southern, go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Several members of a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department recruiting class were hurt this morning when a car plowed into them when they were on a training run. The injured got quick medical treatment because crews working in a nearby fire station heard the crash, rushed to the scene. The 22-year-old driver of the SUV suffered minor injuries, and that crash is under investigation. Tensions appeared to ease somewhat today after NATO and Poland dialed back early suspicions that Russia might have fired an airstrike into Poland near the border with Ukraine. As Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington, officials say it now appears more likely Ukraine fired the errant airstrike as it was defending against another Russian bombardment.
Officials from NATO, Poland, and the U.S. say a deadly missile strike on Polish territory does not appear to be intentional.
We're still gathering information, but we have seen nothing that contradicts President Duda's preliminary assessment that this explosion was most likely the result of a Ukrainian air defense missile that unfortunately landed in Poland.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the U.S. has full confidence in the Polish government's investigation of Tuesday's explosion that killed 2 people in a small border town.
And whatever the final conclusions may be, the world knows that Russia bears ultimate responsibility for this incident.
The incident initially raised concerns Russia may have hit a NATO member. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called it a Russian missile attack on collective security.
President Biden discussed the incident during an emergency meeting with G7 and NATO leaders while they were in Indonesia.
Russia can and should stop the war. If they're able to do it, they can stop it tomorrow if they wanted to.
Ukraine's military says its air defenses took down 77 of more than 90 missiles Russia fired Tuesday, along with 11 attack drones. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
A Russian Defense Ministry spokesman said strikes yesterday were not that close to the border. Russia and Ukraine both possess S-300 air defense missiles, which officials say could have sparked the early confusion over who was behind the explosion in Poland. Russia has also used them in its attacks in Ukraine during this 9-month-old war. Still ahead, the rising cost of a Thanksgiving meal.
A new report says a traditional Thanksgiving meal will cost 20% more this year. I'm Michael George with some ways to save.
And next in Health Watch, if you're looking to get into pickleball, we have some tips to avoid injury. Topping today's Health Watch, more than 1 billion teens and other young people are at risk of losing their hearing because they use headphones and earbuds and go to loud concerts. Researchers looked at data from several studies all around the world involving people aged 12 to 34 years who are considered most vulnerable. Data suggests young people often choose volumes as high as 105 decibels, far higher than safe levels of 75 to 80 decibels. Pickleball is now the fastest growing sport in the U.S. with more than 5 million players across the country. But as more people pick up paddles, doctors are seeing a surge in pickleball related injuries. Reporter Bradley Blackburn has more on how players can stay in the game.
Jackie Montemarano started playing pickleball during the pandemic, and now she can't stop.
It's fun. It's addicting.
She hits the court near her Staten Island home up to 6 times a week and can play all day.
Before you know it, it's 2, 3, 4 hours.
You're good, too.
I try hard.
6 months ago, she could feel that all the activity came with some unwanted side effects.
My whole knee was swollen, and I had pain in the knee, pain in my hip.
Dr. Dennis Cardone with NYU Langone Health treated Montemarano. He says he's seeing more pickleball players turn up with injuries.
Arms and legs, but mostly lower legs, and really just muscle strains, low back issues.
Many players are retirees who can be more susceptible to injuries. He says those new to the game need to prepare before stepping on the court.
The main things to do are a good stretching and strengthening program. It's also important to start gradually. A slow progression, it can really make a difference in preventing injuries.
It's sometimes very forceful movements on your joints.
Jackie had fluid drained from her knee along with gel injections and a cortisone shot. She was back on the court the next day.
We go easy on me?
Sure.
Okay. She showed this new player just how physical pickleball can be.
It does make you move.
To stay healthy, she's adding strength training and stretching so she can keep owning the court.
The only thing injured Jackie is my pride.
And encouraging everyone to get in the game.
Get a paddle, get a ball, come to the park, and have fun.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Staten Island, New York.
USA Pickleball says more than half of core pickleball players are 55 years old or older, but the average age for all players has dropped to 38. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our Pet Vet On Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dude from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to tell you how to keep geese out of your yard.
Plus, cold temperatures sticking around, more rain and snow chances as well. We'll talk about that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures only upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Had a lot of clouds during the morning hours and then a little bit of sunshine. during the afternoon. Now we have pretty much clear skies. Looks great. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But we're going to have pretty much clear skies as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. All right, temperatures. It's cold. It's 33 in Fort Scott, 36 in Chanute, 37 in Veneta, Miami at 35, Neosho 31, Carthage 32, Bentonville 33. It looks nice. It's just chilly. Sitting at 33, northwesterly winds at 13, so that gives us a wind chill of 24 degrees, so it makes it feel colder than what it actually is. And these winds, thankfully, once we get toward 10, 11 o'clock, will really start to diminish. But through the evening hours, if you're going to be outside, you definitely want to bundle up. Look at our wind chill factors. It feels like 24 in Iola, 26 in Yates Center, 23s, Nevada and Lamar. So it's cold everywhere. Through the evening, clear skies, actual temperature drops back through the 20s, all the way down to 22 for an overnight low for us tonight. Not much is going on here. We had clouds earlier today. Those are gone. A weak little wave just kind of zoomed on by early this morning. But look at all these little waves that continue to drop in. So we have another wave, which is going to drop in tomorrow. You can see the jet stream right out of Canada. So these waves follow these arrows. It also keeps pumping in the cooler air, and that's why it's been so cold over the past couple days. All right, let's go through time. Midnight, temperatures close to 20. Then we hang out there into the morning hours. Here's 7 a.m., some clouds starting to increase. We'll have a little sunshine early, and then just mostly cloudy skies. Here's the noon hour. Notice some showers just north of the region. As we get into the afternoon, this little line of showers will drop south. So here's 4 p.m. And then as we get into the evening hours, it cools down a little bit. This will kind of be a little light rain-snow mix and eventually switching over to snow. Notice majority of this is on the Missouri side, not the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. A little bit of light snow through the evening hours. Here's 10 p.m. Few flurries through the overnight hours and then gone by Friday morning. Still though, a lot of clouds throughout the day on Friday. High temperatures, low to mid 30s. So it's going to be chilly, really chilly on Friday. All right, so we're not going to get much out of this, but again, mainly on the Missouri side, a dusting upwards to a ½ inch. This is tomorrow night. Of course, you want to watch out for that. Day planner for you tomorrow, 25 at 7:44 by noon. Clouds thicken, a few showers, and that high up to 47 during the afternoon. Then, of course, it really cools down on Friday, high of only 34. 44 Saturday, near 50 on Sunday, into the 50s Monday and Tuesday. Rain chances increase by next Wednesday. So at 6 o'clock, we're going to be talking about a fairly big storm system moving in right on Thanksgiving. So we'll give you all those details tonight at 6.
Doesn't sound good, not for travelers,
No,
and there will be a lot of them. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, the cost to prepare a Thanksgiving dinner. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Dustin Groves served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 2006 to 2008. The Columbus, Kansas native was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Corporal Dustin Groves, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Americans are spending more. U.S. retail sales surged in October. The Census Bureau reported a 1.3% increase in spending. Economists expected sales to rise, but only by 1%. Retail sales are up a little over 8% in the last 12 months. Food prices continue to rise, and that's making for an expensive Thanksgiving feast. Michael George has the results of a new report and some tips on how to save.
Inflation has many Americans searching for Thanksgiving deals. Marlo Hito went to several stores looking for the best price on a turkey.
You just have to manage, go around, shop around.
But even bargain hunters can't escape steep prices. The American Farm Bureau Federation says a classic Thanksgiving meal for 10, including a 16-pound turkey, sides, and dessert, cost just over $64 this year, up 20% from a year ago. Shoppers will find turkey up 21%, frozen peas 23% higher, pie crusts 26% more, and stuffing mix up 69%.
The costs for producing food have gone up. Farmers are paying double for fuel and triple for fertilizer. The result is higher prices.
Avoiding those high prices can be difficult, so one way to save, don't go overboard and buy too much food. Emily Weinstein is the food and cooking editor at the New York Times.
A lot of people buy a much bigger bird because they love to have leftovers. This year, maybe you just want to get the turkey you need.
She says consider using frozen fruits and veggies in dishes instead of fresh to cut costs. Another tip, make dinner a group effort.
If you've ever considered doing a Thanksgiving potluck, this is the year to do it.
Having guests pitch in should make the Thanksgiving feast a little more affordable. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
There is some good news. Prices for turkeys have started coming down in the past few days. There are a lot of ways to cook a turkey. One is to use a deep fryer. If you choose that route, be sure to follow the proper safety measures. Make sure your turkey is completely thawed, or you might risk an explosive fire like this one we demonstrated this morning with the Pittsburgh Fire Department. Look at that. One recommendation is a day of thawing in your refrigerator for every 5 pounds. Also, follow the instructions on your fryer so you don't use too much oil, and watch your temperatures. Chef Anthony Fisher says 350 degrees is perfect, and never use your fryer indoors.
Perfect environment to deep fry the turkey is to get out in an open area, out in the driveway, in the yard, away from the house, away from your garage, covered porches, someplace where if something bad does happen, it's not necessarily going to have a lot of things to spread to.
First thing I would say is get it in the refrigerator to start thawing now. Put it on a sheet tray, put it in the refrigerator, and let it start now. You're going to want several days for it to thaw out completely. If you don't give it at least 5 days, you're probably going to have frozen pieces still in it.
According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, an average of 1,700 cooking fires occur on Thanksgiving, which is 3 times as many as any other day of the year. Our pet vet on call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, looking into solutions to support our nation's healthcare workers. Then on KOAM News at 6, a Joplin man is arrested, accused of robbing a pizza delivery driver. Plus, we'll have more on the cost of repairing frozen pipes in our homes. And we're going to hear from the Quapaw Wildcats as they head into round 2 of the playoffs. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. If you live anywhere near water, you probably see plenty of waterfowl this time of year. Well, today's question for our pet vet on call, how can I keep Canada geese out of my yard?
Well, that's really a temporary problem because they're migrating and they will eventually leave. But I understand that they probably leave a heck of a mess. Even though that's good fertilizer, it is a mess. Now, to me, that would be a treat. But if you want to keep them out of your yard, they are prey animals, so predators are what's going to do it. They have coyote decoys, owl decoys, hawk decoys, all these things will keep them from landing. But if they're already there, recruit your little dog, especially if you have a yappy little, excitable little terrier type. They would love to do that job for you. Sick them on them one time and they will take care of that the whole season.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we have Caramel, or maybe Caramel if you prefer. The shelter says she's a Pit Bull Terrier puppy. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen this short-haired kitten. Her name is Kanga. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? And please do remember your pets outdoors as it gets bitterly cold, as it will again tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold one. We're going to drop all the way down into lower 20s later on tonight. 47 tomorrow, so a little bit warmer, but a little rain snow mix tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, and then colder again on Friday, a high temp of only 34.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.